Hey YouTube, Kimania. I am Sha.
And I'm Ju. Together we are
Sha and Ju. Welcome back to our channel. So today we'll be making Alouda. Alouda is a milk-based drink that contains either chia seeds or basil seeds and a version of cooked agar.
Yes, it actually originated from India. During the British occupation, Indian workers brought it to Mauritius. For those of you who may know Faluda, it has a very similar name and very similar taste to Alouda, both made with rose water.
In Mauritius, you can find it everywhere and anywhere. You can find it in the markets, you can find it at food stalls, you can find it on the streets even. Some people like theirs with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Some people like theirs with crushed ice. I like mine with the agar on top just because it's very basic, it's very simple, but it's so tasty.
Yes, it definitely is. It's perfect for summertime as well, as it's approaching now. Before we get into the video, we just wanted to make sure you liked the video if you are enjoying yourself today.
Please.
Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And make sure you have the notifications turned on to always, as we have a lot of Mauritian style recipes coming up your way. Let's get into it.
So for our Alouda recipe, we will be using a whole can of evaporated milk, 354 milliliters. We will be using half a can of sweet condensed milk, which is about 150 milliliters of condensed milk. Chia seeds, 20 grams. We're gonna soak those. They're gonna puff up and you'll see they'll give a nice consistency to the Alouda. This is agar powder. I'm gonna use 20 grams for half a liter of water. This is a plant-based powder. It's made from red algae and it forms a jelly-like substance. And of course, the rose water, which gives the Alouda its fragrant taste. We are going to start by mixing our agar powder in cold water. This is 300 milliliters of water with 20 grams of agar powder. Make sure it's dissolved. I'm gonna stir it in. If you put it in boiling water, it's gonna make agar bubbles, and the agar is gonna stay in bubbles instead of dissolving properly. So what you wanna do, make sure it's mixed throughout, and we're gonna put this on the stove. Once it starts boiling, we're gonna take it off. So you wanna boil this for about 3 to 4 minutes on low to medium heat. Put it on your stove and let it get to temperature. Boil it for 4 to 5 minutes on medium to low heat. Once it starts boiling, you're gonna take it off the heat and we're gonna put it in a plate. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Make sure you're not over boiling. By that I mean going over the pot. I just lift it, let it cool down. I turn the heat down to 5 right now and I will let it cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. You just need to apply enough heat for the agar to melt into the water. After 3 minutes, the agar is completely dissolved in the water. We are going to transfer it to a plate and it is going to go in the fridge. Right now it should just look like thicker water. I would say like glycerin consistency, if you know what glycerin looks like. But it's just thicker water. So we're going to put this in the fridge. It's going to stay in the fridge for the next hour and then we'll show you what it turns into. While our agar is in the fridge cooling down, we will be washing and soaking our chia seeds. This is about 20 grams of chia seeds. You can alternatively use basil seeds as well. What we are going to do here is we are going to wash them and soak them. We want to make sure that all the impurities, all the dust, all the dead chia seed particles get out of them. So I'll show you how to do that right now. You want to take your chia seeds and put them in a pot. Have a little whisk with you. We have this tiny cute one. I'm gonna put some water in there.
We have been specializing on a collection of tiny utensils.
And I'm gonna give it a quick stir. You will notice as soon as you stir it, there will be some floating ones. Just give them a few minutes, they will soak to the bottom. And all other impurities, like the dead chia seeds, you will see that they will remain on top and they will be white. So feel free to discard those. That's exactly what I'm gonna do right now, and I'll show you how. I will now add another cup of water in it and give it another stir. Now whatever is actually floating on top, after I let it set for a few seconds, I will discard. I will show you what this looks like. So you see all the tiny particles that are floating on the top? This is what I'm going to discard. You can do that in a sink, but just to show you what it's going to look like, I'm going to put it in a jar. As you can see, there are some few chia seeds that are in the water. You don't want these chia seeds, you don't want this water. So you're gonna throw it out. Do the rest for the rest of the water. Make sure you don't strain out all the good chia seeds now. Whatever is left floating on top. Mind you, you can still eat those, but I don't want them in my drink. Repeat this rinse process 2 to 3 times, however much you're comfortable with it. But right now, I feel really satisfied with how mine turned out. I'm going to add half a cup of water, and we're going to set this aside. We're going to let them puff up properly. During that time, we're going to make the milk mix for the Alouda. So this is our can of open condensed milk, and this is our can of evaporated milk. What you want to do at this point is make sure that you put this in a measuring cup, because we're going to have to measure water at some point and ice at some point. Make sure you have ice also for this recipe. Let's start with mixing the evaporated milk in. You're going to put all your evaporated milk in a bowl, as so. And you're going to put in half your sweet condensed milk. I'm eyeballing it at this stage because I kind of know what I'm looking for, but 150 milliliters should be what you're aiming for. And about 2 teaspoons of rose water. We're gonna stir this and make sure that the condensed milk mixes properly with the evaporated milk. Once your evaporated milk, your sweet condensed milk, and your rose water is mixed in, we are going to add 400 milliliters of water. And later we're gonna add about the same amount of ice, just to make it a little fresher and a little more
cold.
After 1 hour, your agar should be ready. It is
quick demonstration of its texture.
It is very hard. Some people like to use food coloring and sugar in their agar, but I like to leave mine plain and simple. I think it gives a glassy look and texture in your Alouda and makes it look really cool. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go ahead by cutting a piece of that jelly. I'll show you what it looks like actually. So I make squares out of mine, but you can make triangles, you can cut shapes out of them. It should look like this. It looks like, I don't know,
really wobbly.
a wobbly piece of plastic. It wouldn't taste like much, but it's a great consistency to put into the Alouda. So what I do with this, I actually use a box grater and grate it on the smallest side. So as you can see, it grates really well. And once grated, it will look like
shredded pieces of plastic.
plastic, right?
But it's all natural. It's really nice. It's a nice alternative for like animal gelatin as well.
True. So I'm going to show you how to assemble the Alouda. Now that you have all your components ready, you have the chia seeds here, you have the agar grated, you have your ice. Remember I said in the beginning have ice? So you have your ice and you have your Alouda mix. I'm going to show you how to assemble it now. We're going to take our pretty fennel, I'm going to put it on top. We are going to scoop some Alouda in our glass. And right now it just looks like a glass of milk, right?
No. Carafe of milk.
And in there, I am going to add, if you can see the chia seeds, the amount of water that we added previously, it has soaked up all of the water. So you want to add a good amount of this in your Alouda. As you'll see, as soon as you start putting it, it'll start floating on top of your Alouda. We're gonna put a few teaspoons in. Last but not least, we're going to add the agar jelly. I actually like mine really jelly.
It's kind of like bubble tea but Mauritian style if you think about it.
True.
I just realized that.
Give that a quick stir. And a few cubes of ice. Voila!
Voila.
This should be it. This should do the trick. This should be your drink. I think once you taste this, let us know how it is. Et voila, this is our Alouda. As you can see, it's layered. We like to put some rose petals on top because that's just the way we like it. But you don't necessarily have to do yours like this. Let's taste it together. Well, you just have to swirl it around. This is how it's usually drunk. I think it's pretty tasty. And
just like on the streets of Mauritius.
right?
Certainly the carafe is a little bit more fancy than the plastic bottles you would normally get them in.
Yeah. The jelly in there is really, you can taste the jelly, you can taste the chia seeds, you can taste the milk. Obviously, it's amazing. I think it's a recipe that you guys should try at home.
Yes, especially with summer coming up, having kind of the milk as an alternative to water, of course, sipping away on it, and especially the rose water makes it really nice and exotic tasting. I really love that about Alouda. And of course, like Sharik said, just a little bit of like agar and the chia seeds. It makes you kind of linger the taste a little longer in your mouth as you kind of crunch on them.
So we hope you enjoyed this video. Leave us a comment if you end up making it. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave your notification bell on at all times so you could get new content.
Thank you so much for watching today. Tschüss, and until next time.
Let's go to work.